The House will have under consideration House Bill 418 to jump 24.
You're welcome. Yeah. Just wanted to see if everybody's awake. I ask unanimous consent to forego getting shot for that and also the reading of House Bill 418.
Can ask has been requested. Hearing any objections, hearing that, gentleman has the floor to present the bill.
Mr. Speaker, this is the enhancement for the Division of Career Technical Education for 2026. This is prepared students for high demand associate's degrees, certificates, that kind of thing. There is such a demand for a lot of these classes that there's like 1.5 to 2 times as many students in application for these things like diesel mechanics or for nursing or for dental hygiene. And so this money is directed to the, I didn't do it that time, to the colleges. It's split 6 ways, and it's to enhance, give them the opportunity to do the things they need to do to be able to get more of these kids in here. There's a spending authority for a grant for $2.3 million. There's $50,000 for a literacy, and then the balance of the money goes towards what I just mentioned. So if you want kids to get a better education, you want to see more of these kids get these trades jobs that are immediately available. And what you'll find out is a lot of these kids that are getting those trades jobs are actually making more money their first year out than some of the baccalaureate degrees that are coming out. So this is good money that we spend, good value. I'd ask your green light on this. Thank you.
For the motion, for debate on the motion. Gentleman from 11.
To debate against the bill, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman has the floor to debate against the motion.
Thank you. So I would like to note, and if I may, I'd like to ask for unanimous consent to refer to another piece of legislation.
Objection. Hearing none, the gentleman may refer to other pending legislation.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So House Bill 341 was the maintenance appropriation for the Career Technical Education Fund. And out of that, we appropriated $97.4 million. It was an incredible amount of money. And then on top of that, with this enhancement, we're putting another $12.3 million to it. I guess I would make the argument of, is it the proper role of government to take people's tax dollars and provide for higher education? I would argue that it's not. We don't have any constitutional requirements to fund higher education. And at what point is enough money enough, given what was funded in the maintenance appropriation? So I'm going to be a hard no on this enhancement.
For debate on the motion. Gentleman 25.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Debate against?
Gentleman has the floor.
Thank you. Like the good gentleman from 11 said, there's a substantial amount of money for the increase with this. I'd also like to ask for unanimous consent to talk about other legislation that's happening.
Consent has been requested to refer to other pending legislation. Is there an objection? Hearing none, the gentleman may do so.
The other aspect of this is that we have the Idaho Launch Grant Program. We keep on throwing money at these institutions. And it's not just from one single pot. There's so many different pots of money that they keep on grabbing from that we can't even keep track of where all the money is coming from with all the different grants, all the different programs. And for that, I will be voting no.
For debate on the motion. Lady 32.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To debate in favor of the bill.
Lady has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Without that $10 million in there, this budget would be only about a 3% increase. That $10 million request came from the Office of the Governor. It was requested to go out to all 8 higher education institutions. What the committee did was restrict that to only our technical schools. So Boise State will not get any of this money. University of Idaho will not get any of this money. The focus of community colleges and technical schools truly is what the good gentleman said, really developing the trades and vocations. Workforce training happens at our community colleges. These are short certificates or credentials that can enable these students to go to work. At sometimes a 10-month certificate in the case of a radiation technology certificate from College of Eastern Idaho is one example. Within 10 months, they can go to work and start at $60,000, $70,000 at Idaho National Laboratory. I want to invest in those kinds of programs that are affordable, and we get students who are employable immediately upon graduation with skills. So we made sure that these funds will go only to programs that have wait lists. Those are programs like welding and nursing, things where they can get jobs as soon as they graduate. So this, the other thing I would like to mention is that in the course of our hearings in JFAC, we heard some really interesting analysis of how we send about over two-thirds of our funding for higher education to universities, and only about, I believe, 28% to our community colleges. The members of JFAC, in general, are supportive of shifting that percentage so that we're funding education that is more affordable with more immediate outcomes and jobs in the community college space. We would like to see that funding balance shift. It's going to take some time for us to get here, but this is a step in the right direction, in our opinion, of doing that, pending any policy changes. But you will also see in this bill intent language. Should have pulled that up, where we are calling out, you'll see the use of the appropriated funds, the $10 million at $1.6 million for those 6 technical schools. But you're seeing accountability language on a different line item. Actually, I'm not seeing that language, sorry. Permission to refer to pending legislation.
Now consent has been requested to refer to pending legislation. Is there objection? Hearing none, good lady may do so.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If you read the bill that came just before, which was 416, no, sorry, not 416. Anyway, it was the community colleges bill. The same problem that we have in public schools with our funding structure is identical to the problem that we have in our higher education funding structure. And we would like, we are requesting that the board have language back to us on outcomes-based funding formula prior to the start of next session. Will it be able to be implemented by next session? Unlikely. We give them till 2028 to come back to us with that. But we hope it gets at solving this imbalance of funding so that we can make sure we're investing in affordable, employable education wherever we can find it, but also rewarding that type of education in a new funding structure for colleges and universities as well. So again, we are leaning in hard to investing in affordable, employable education in this bill. I hope you can support it. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, for the debate on the motion. Gentleman 23.
To debate the bill, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman has the floor.
Thank you. When we start looking at our community colleges and we start looking at our return on investment, this is where we're maxing out our return on our investment. The number of times that I've personally watched students that have broken the cycle of poverty and welfare dependence because they have access to these kind of programs for the high-paying, high-demand kind of career things that we need in this state is truly remarkable. And being able to support that is very, very important. And so with that, I encourage your green light.
For the debate on the motion, Gentleman 26.
To debate in favor, please.
Gentleman has the floor.
I agree with all the testimony in favor, and I would add to that one of the basic reasons for success from community colleges' technical programs is they're deeply embedded in the communities. Whether it's a tight relationship with INEL that they're trading for, or the local people installing HVACs. Those aren't off-the-shelf programs that just appear. They have all the local businesses on a really personal basis. Some of them have come in as guest instructors, and half the success, in my view, is because it's tied so closely to the industry and what the industry needs. Thank you.
For debate on the motion,
6.
lady from 6.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I would
you like to debate the bill?
Thank you. I would like to debate in favor
You
of
have
this
the
bill.
floor.
Thank you. This really is a good bill, folks. It affects each and every one of our communities because there are schools throughout the state that are community colleges, and these are students that are, as I said, in the career and technical side of the colleges, whether it's welding, whether it's HVAC, whether it's paralegal, whether it's medical. There's dental assisting. There are so many different areas that we support through this funding. And these students are those that are going to get a shorter term degree, and they go out into your communities and they're working. I just would like to give a short example. When I taught almost for 16 years at Lewis Clark State College and ran the paralegal program there. And we did have outcomes-based education. Our funding, I don't think was really tied to that, but we had to specifically show the department where our students went to work, and did they go to work, because that was kind of the measurement in those programs. And these programs have co-ops and internships, and so the folks that are teaching these, sometimes they don't hold a master's or a PhD, but they hold life experience that they've worked for maybe 30, 40 years in an industry, and then they come and they teach these programs. There's education that they still have to go learn how to get the information from their head, from their hands to those students. And I can tell you it's incredibly rewarding when you're teaching those students that come to you and say, I started out and I went to this college and I bombed because I just was a party animal, whatever it was, but I'm a terrible student. And I said, you know what, you're going to be successful in this program because you're here, you want to do something that you want to do. And these programs are all set up to get them to succeed. They don't all. Sometimes life gets in the way and they have to leave for certain reasons. But this is a great opportunity for all of us to say, okay, we're investing in our own communities by investing in this program. So please consider that. I know that it's an increase, but we are seeing enrollment increases in our career and technical, and we need these enhanced dollars to maybe get more teachers, to expand a program, whether it's nursing assistant or whatever. So I do encourage your green light on this one.
For debate on the motion, gentleman 31.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, to debate.
Gentleman has the floor.
Thank you. I had a question on the $10 million in this budget, so I asked the analyst, where would this $10 million go and what would it be used for? And he indicated to me that a lot of this money would be used to cover some of the wait lists that they have at the junior colleges and universities. He sent me these numbers. I think they're pretty important. Welding, they currently have 272 enrolled. They have 354 in a wait list. Nursing, they have over 900 enrolled, 751 on a wait list. Medical science, 62 on a wait list. Diesel technology, 154 on a wait list. These are people that want to get in these programs that can't. So this $10 million goes towards helping our students get in these critical programs. Automobile technology, 149 wait list. Computer science and cyber, 243 wait list. Let's give these students a chance to move forward and get out these wait lists and get them in and being productive people in the state of Idaho.
For debate on motion, gentleman 26.
Debate in favor of the motion, sir.
The floor.
First, I'd like to compliment the good lady from 32. Try to go out and get a job without a certificate. HVAC, welding, plumbing, electricians. These businesses will not hire you if you don't have that certificate. These young men and women that come out of these programs with HVAC or welding, plumbing, these organizations, just as the gentleman from 31 was saying, they'll get hired and the wait lists are so long. But these businesses, I understand some people are saying businesses need to pay for it, but I tell you what, these kids that come in with these certificates or associate degrees, they get hired up. And this is a good bill, and I will be a green light on it.
For debate on motion, gentleman 24.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To debate against the bill.
Gentleman has the floor.
I'll try and keep it quick and simple. Like, we could take a step back and talk about if this is the proper role of government and the return on investment and all these things. The main things that stick out to me is a 23% federal funding and a 12.6% growth above the maintenance. A few of us came in here, as many of you know, and made a commitment to our constituents that we're going to try and cut where possible. Right? If it adds full-time employees, it grows government. If it takes federal funds, it's pretty much monopoly money that comes at our sovereignty eventually. And then if it grows more than 1.2 on these enhancements, we're going to take a step back and we're going to say no. We want to keep the lights on, but for some things where we can address, this is definitely one of those things we can address. With federal funds, we got to slow down. With a 12.6% growth, we got to take a step back, so I'll definitely be a no on this.
For debate on motion, gentleman 16.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To debate in favor.
Gentleman has the floor.
Friends, I just want to share a quick story here. A couple weeks ago, my wife and I were down in Buell grabbing dinner. Table next to us were a couple young guys talking about software development. Some pretty sophisticated stuff, and so I leaned over and asked them where they were working. There were students at CSI, and they're veterans. So they were using their GI Bill to go to CSI to learn software development for some sophisticated industrial systems for a lot of the food processors that we've got across the state. So I look at this bill, I don't see spending, I see investing. I see investing in the most important thing, which is in Idahoans. And if the demand is there for these skills, then we need to respond to that. And we need to make sure that we ramp up with the demand so that Idaho can continue to grow. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
For the debate on the motion, hearing none, would the gentleman from 24 care to close the debate?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There's not much to add to that other than these are high demand jobs that need to be filled, that work for our economy. This is economic development. Over the long haul, these kids are taxpayers when they get a job. I can encourage your green light.
Please close. Question is, shall 418 pass the House? Clerk will unlock the machine. Members will cast their votes. Has every member voted? Does every member change their vote? Clerk will lock the machine. Record the roll. 36 ayes, 33 nay, 1 absent and excused. Oh, clerk will read the pairs, excuse me.
Rubel votes aye, Tanner 13 votes nay, Galaviz votes aye, Beiswinger votes nay.
36 ayes, 33 nay, 1 absent and excused. Majority having voted in favor of House Bill 418. House Bill 418 has passed the House. Correction to title.
No correction to title.
Hearing none, title's